DBS community, welcome back to another video here with Kyle Chris. Today we're going over the first red deck that was shown off for set 20, which is going to be Warriors of Universe 3, or Papa Big Roni here. This really recycled red deck concept. Man, I wish this deck, these type of decks, this is like the third type of deck that has come out that's kind of like this, where they're really focused on trying to get a bunch of these little guys out, and it's an interesting concept, but I don't think any of them have found any form of success yet. It seems as if they're just sort of almost like a throwaway archetype, right? And it shouldn't be, because the Universe 3 archetype, for, if you guys remember, if anyone played when the Universe 3, the black, I think it was set Draft Box 5, that archetype, almost the entire archetype got banned. It was just so incredibly powerful, and I wish the same thing for this. I don't know how it's going to actually play out, but we'll kind of figure that out as we are going through these cards, and then of course at the end we'll go through and we will make a deck profile for it. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, all that fun stuff. You guys help support the channel on our way to 2,000 subs. And we'll go into what the leader does. So Paparoni here, he is a draw 1 when he attacks, normal stuff. And then you awaken at 4, or if you have a, and I'm probably going to butcher these names. So I know Koitsukai. You have Panchea and Ballerator, all red. You have to have one or more of each of them in your energy, Z energy, battle area, and or drop. You draw 1, restand 1, you strike life down to 6. Then on the other side, when you attack, you search top 5 for a 1 red Universe 3 card, which is very important. And add it to your hand. And then activate main if you have 3 life or less. You have 4 more energy. You send 1 Koitsukai, Panchea, and Ballerator, all red, from your drop to your warp. You play out 1 Koitsurator with an cost of 4 from your deck, or drop, shuffle your deck if you look through it, and then get the skill for the game. So you can only use this one time, and to help you kind of go into your big boss monster, which obviously we will go over here in a little bit. So the first are going to be the 1-drops. And you have 1 for each of the main robots, all of which have different effects where you can kind of search each other out. So Panchea, when you play it, you add up to 1 Koitsukai or Ballerator, both red. It costs 1 from your deck to your hand. And when this card is placed under an Anilaza or a Koitsurator, both red, and in your battle area, the card above it gains 5k. And it's a permanent, so that card will always gain the 5k. Ballerator does the same exact thing, gives 5k, but then also searches out Koitsukai and Panchea. And Koitsukai is kind of the middle one. So Koitsukai is kind of, this is very similar to how the Dr. Rildo deck sort of plays. So you guys know that particular archetype from a few sets ago. This is kind of the same concept. So Koitsukai adds the other 2 to the hand, and then Unit Absorb for 1. You choose a Panchea and a Ballerator, both red, from your hand, battle area, and or drop. Place them under this card, and you play a Koitsurator and it costs a 4 from your deck, or drop on top of this card. And if you shuffle your deck, if you look through your deck. Now we have the 3-drops, which thankfully there is some differences in what these actual cards do. So Koitsukai, I think all of them have the same effect, where they cost 1 less for each Universe 3 card in your energy. So once you charge a Universe 3, which you're going to charge a Universe 3, all these become 2-drops, and they can all go down to being 1 cost, which is very, very important. So Koitsukai searches top 5 for a red Universe 3. Panchea draws a card, and then Ballerator is actually a counter attack, so it's actually a negate. And then it also gains blocker, which is really cool. So it's going to be a 1-drop blocker battle card that also becomes then a blocker. So it's almost like a 1-drop version of Frieza's Army Reinforcements or Chilled Army, because those are both 10Ks, right? They all have an auto. When this card is placed from your hand or drop area under a Koitsurator or an Anilaza, both red in your battle area, choose a 20 opponent's battle cards and minus it by 10. So all 3 of these have that same effect, and they will all trigger simultaneously, so you can make something, you can name 2 things by 20k and 1 thing by 20, 1 thing by 30k, or 3 things by 10k. So like you can just literally just neg their entire board, or a big boss monster or whatever. Now we have the 4-drop Koitsurator, Plan X activation. It's a 15k deflect. When this card's played, play up to 1 Universe 3 card with an end cost of 1 from your hand or your drop, which is very important because it also, you can play out these 3 guys from your hand, because they will probably cost 1 at that point, or the other 3 1-drops that I showed off. Active main for leaders are red Universe 3, and there are 1 or more Koitsukai, Panchea, and Ballerator cards, all red, energy cost, all red. In your energy is the energy battle area drop. And your opponent has 2 more energy. You get to play this card from your hand, and then you play up to 1 Universe 3 from your place up to 1 Universe 3 card, and then it costs 3 less from your drop under this card. So that means you can all that means you can also play this card from your hand, or you can use it off of the Koitsukai, which is cool. So you have 2 different ways of actually playing the card out, and then obviously you have your leader, which also can play the card out too. Then we have I would say two of probably the most important cards in the deck. So Paparoni, the Brains of Universe 3. It's a 1-drop deflect. When this card's played, draw 1. Activate main if your leader is a 4. If your leader is a red Universe 3, you have 4 more energy. You choose 1 Koitsu card in your battle area and place this underneath it. You draw 1. You play up to 1 red Anilaza from your hand on top of this card in active mode, which is the Anilaza right here. Now, why this card is important is because this card allows you to go into the Anilaza, and you kind of need this in order to go into the Anilaza card. Which is Universe 3's ultimate weapon. So this is a 25k triple attack. You also can Z-evolve on top of a red Koitsu with edge cost of 15k or more. Permanent, while a red Koitsu is underneath this card can attack battle cards in active mode, which is very cool. Auto, if your leader is a red Universe 3, and your opponent has 4 more life when this card attacks, and the opponent's battle card, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This is also really cool. So having a burn effect is really powerful. I wish this was like a limit 2. Honestly, like if this was a limit 2, being able to swing at stuff like this, you could really have a really powerful deck. Like if someone's at 6 life, you can burn them essentially for 2 life. That's a really powerful, right? And once they're below 4 life, or 3 life, it doesn't matter anymore. But you can burn someone from 4 to 3. That can be pretty powerful, right? And being able to just kind of clear a board of small stuff is really important. So this card is actually really good. It's a really, really good card. Your opponent only needs 3 energy, I think. Yeah, your opponent only needs 3 energy, so you can activate this on your turn 4, or on turn 3. Like there's a lot of different things you can do with this. So this combination though is kind of what makes the boss monster tick in this deck. Now we get to the 2 Z battle cards. We have the Koitsu the Masterwork. This is a 2-drop unique. You Z stack 1 red Anilaza battle card, which is going to be the one here to the right. This card is played, choose up to 1 Koitsukai, Panchea, and Ball card, all red. From your hand, battle area, and or drop, place them under this card until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card gains barrier. So if you guys remember, it's Panchea and the Ball card. I don't think the other 2 do that. Yeah, so Ball and Panchea will actually make this card a 30k. It'll be a 30k barrier. And then you can, for 2 red, place 3 cards from under this card and you drop. Place up to 1 Paparoni card from your hand or battle area and drop. Play up to 1 Anilaza Z battle card from under this card and place this card under the played card. So then Anilaza, the Dimension Bender, is your other kind of big boss monster. So this is a deflect, triple strike. When this card is played, draw 1, place up to 1 Paparoni, Koitsukai, Panchea, and Ball card, all red from your battle area and or drop under this card. This card gains barrier for the turn. And then auto, when this card attacks, for every 2 cards under this card, choose it to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, and it gets minus 30k. So if you have 4 cards underneath this, you are minusing 2 things. Now the big thing to think about, I don't think you can choose the same thing twice. Or if you do, it's just going to neg it by 1 thing, right? So like you can't neg a unison 30k and then 30k again. It's just going to, if you choose the same thing, I think it's just going to neg it by 60k, right? You can't choose it in 2 different instances, right? It's just going to go through once. But you can choose 2 different cards and minus them by 30k. That's pretty powerful. Then activate main, plays up to 1 Universe 3 card from your hand under this card. Additionally, if there are 6 or more cards under this card gains dual attack for the turn. So it's a lot of stuff there, right? So the Koitsukai, for one, this will become a 30k barrier, which is pretty good. I wish the card would restand. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, you play it from underneath it, so technically it would come in an active mode. So you can swing with the Koitsukai for 30k. Tap 2. You place the 3 robots from underneath this in the drop, and you put a Paparoni underneath, and then you play the Anilaza out, and then Koitsukai goes underneath. So then you have 2 cards then underneath it, and then you would add the 3 other robots. So if the Panchea and the Bowlerator that you add will be the ones that give 5k, making this a 35k double strike, deflect with barrier. And then if you add another card from your hand underneath it, it goes up to, it could potentially go up to 40k, because then you can add another Bullerator or a Pangea from your hand, and then it'll get dual attack. So you can keep a 40k dual attack double strike. That's pretty good. It's a very powerful boss monster. Now, it's definitely takes some setup, and you're probably going to want to run a lot of the making sure that you're able to hit the curve, which is probably going into Anilaza turn 3, and then potentially going into this turn 4 or turn 5. It's weird. It's not very aggro. It's sort of like that mid-range red type of style, which has not really done very well unless you're Gogeta, right? Because the boss monster is not as dominating as something like Gogeta is, because Gogeta just turns off effects while Anilaza doesn't have that effect. So and I think that was all the cards. Yeah, so those are all the cards that like the main cards for the archetype. Now we're going to go into the deck building portion of it and see if we can come up with something that is could be competitively viable, or close enough to it. All right, guys. So we're gonna go over the kind of a deck list for this. See if we can come up with something that's pretty, say, viable, as much as possible. So we will start with, of course, the set 20 cards. Right? It just kind of makes sense to start with the stuff that we kind of know is gonna fit into the deck. All right. So Pepperoni, this is going to be a 4 of, because he's one of the only cards that doesn't have, although he is searchable, the other robots search each other out. So probably running this as a 4 of is probably good, at least for a start, and we can always cut him down later. We have Koitsukai, the Koitsurator. I think this is probably going to be another 4 of. The 1-drops, I don't know, probably 4 of Koits, because he's the one who you can play out to actually go into the effect. The other, this one probably 3 of. I think the only one's as important. Probably 4 of this guy, because he is a negate. So after turn 2, this guy can basically be a free 1-drop negate. So we're gonna run this guy as 4 of, for sure. And he also gives the power. Does he give the power boost? No, he's the one that negs. Gotcha. The 1-drops you the power boost. Where's 1-drop Bullerator? So this will probably be a 3 of, because these are just really there for searching. The 3-drop here will probably do 3 of. This is I think it's Nararami. Forgot how they pronounce this. Now normally we would probably run like Raditz or Beerus, but because this is searchable on the front, on the Awakened side, you can actually search out your 3 cards. We're gonna have the super combo in there. It just makes more sense, right? You're able to search out a super combo. I'm gonna run the super combo that you can search out. Tactical orders. This card is not very good. We don't want having extra cards that are not negates or not activate battles. This just becomes a dead card. We're not gonna utilize that a lot. This Koitsukai is probably gonna be a 4 of, because this searches top 5 for any Red Universe 3. We like that. This one's just a solid draw one. That's probably fine as there. And then Anilaza. So Anilaza is a 5k. So this makes it not feel clunky in the hand. So we'll probably start with 4 and then see if we can cut down from there. That's really going to be all the new cards. That's 37 cards. That's quite a bit. So we might need to cut down a little bit. We're going to go into the Z Battle cards. And we'll grab... see what we can add here. So we're going to add 2 Anilaza and 2 of the Koitsurators for now. That gives us 4. I do think adding a Goku would probably be a good one to add, just because it has the burn effect on it. We like that. This burns what, 4? Yeah, you have to be at 4 or more. Rush attack, of course. Probably gonna add 2 rush attack, and that gives us our 7. Yeah, seems pretty good to me. All right, so the first card that came to mind was definitely going to be the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Unison. Now this Unison is really good in this deck. So you can literally search all the cards of the deck, but then also you can just +2 and then just play one of the 1-drops from your hand. Right, now what this does, this allows you to go into literally any of these, right? You can play any of these 1-drops. They're just going to search out the other one. That's good, right? We can just search out any of these cards, and then all of these 1-drop, all these cards also become 1-drops in your hand, meaning you can play out all of these too. So the But Gogeta seems to be probably the best. I think the Unison, and then we'll add one Yamcha, of course. I think this gives the deck a little bit of early to mid game viability, because you can just slam this guy down on 2, and then you should have you should be able to at least awaken on that turn. Yeah, because you're gonna charge some of them, and as well as putting maybe Z energy or playing out 1-drop, and then you can also play this uptick, play the other one, and then you'll be able to awaken. So yeah, I think that's good. And obviously the one Yamcha. So like you have a burn mechanic in your deck, but unfortunately it's not good enough to like build your entire deck around playing burn. There's not enough good cards in that sort of idea for it to work, so we're just not gonna be able to play any of those. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. Secret rare, I don't know what to play, honestly. Like Vegeta's probably the best target because I don't think you really play anything else. Maybe Gohanks? Honestly, I think Gohanks, well, I don't know. So there's now 2 secret rares that get rid of Unisons. 3, so actually technically there's 3 secret rares that get rid of Unisons. Yeah, Gohanks would probably be a good one. But I think we'll probably just go with Vegeta. Vegeta's just kind of the better option, I feel like. Yeah, we'll just go with Vegeta. It's kind of boring, but yeah, Vegeta's definitely, I think, going to be the better one here. I don't think we're ever going to get Sparking 25. Yeah, I think it's between Gohanks and this. The other secret rare is like Frieza's not. That's not a good card to play anymore. Radiant Saiyans might not be a bad choice. Actually, Radiant Saiyans might not be bad. Because this deck is kind of starving for energy. So if we do Radiant Saiyans, we can use this, right? Yeah. Yeah, we'll use Radiant Saiyans because at least the 10k combo. Yeah, Radiant Saiyans is probably the best one. It's between the two, honestly. Trying to think of anything interesting that you can run. Probably do, because I mean this is kind of a swarmy aggro deck, I guess. These guys are 10k, so you can't really even swing with these guys, man. Basically, just swing with this. I don't know. Just nothing really feels good, to be honest. Let's see. Let's do. What is a? Oh, it's a negate. I can't think what the negate's called off the top of my head. What is that card called? Let's see. Probably do 2 Wolfang. Wolfang's good. Afterimage is a good idea. There it is. Fight of the Grand Eagle. This one might not be bad. Because you can at least put your guys in the drop and you can still grab them back. Off the effects. Off of some of your effects. So we'll probably do 2 Fight of the Grand Eagle. Because also you can make it free. We're going to be able to span the board out a little bit. Overrealm. Probably Dark Broly. Yeah, probably Dark Broly. We'll throw a Champa in there. Just because. It's 49. Do Testing the Ops. It's probably good. Do 3 Testing the Ops. Actually, you know what? No, we're gonna do Afterimage. I think Afterimage is better. Afterimage might help us go from 4 to 5 safely. or from 6 to 5 safely without taking double strikes. So yeah, that's probably good. Any other 1-drops? Like, I know a lot of the other stuff would probably be like side deck stuff. And honestly, again, you know, some of these decks just kind of build themselves. This deck, unfortunately, just doesn't have enough interesting stuff to play. I know there's a, I know they just released a promo for this deck. I don't remember what the card is. I think it's a 5 cost. It's gotta be a 5 cost battle card, right? That's a 5 cost battle card. It's either 5 or 4. Let's see if we can find it here. I think he is a 4 cost. It's gotta be a 4 cost, right? Yeah, he's a 4 cost. Yeah, let's see if we can find him on here real quick. I just want to add this guy. Ooh, Topo might be good. We'll throw Topo on there real quick. We got the Anilaza. He's a 4 cost. I know he's on here. Maybe he's not. Okay. Well, we'll put this guy on there. The card itself, let's see if we can we'll put the card up here. So it's this guy. Yeah, so for whatever reason he's not on there, probably because he's a promo. But this card can't be KO'd in battle against battle cards with energy cost 3 or less. If your leader is a Universe 7, Universe 3, and you have your opponent's 2 more energy, you play this card from your hand, and you can give this guy 10k. It's just a cool little 1-drop, so it's just give you another attacker that you could have. So we'll include that in there just because it's searchable. But I think that's probably gonna be the deck, honestly. Like there's nothing else to really fit in here, and we're already really kind of overkill here. Probably cut this down to 3. Cut Pepperoni down. Yamcha might not even be worth it, honestly. There's so much deflect. Yeah. We'll take Aftermath down to 2. We'll take Topo out. Gives us 52. Seems pretty good. Again, I truly don't think this deck is that good. Just remember that this is the promo card here. But I truly don't think the deck is that good. It seems to be a throwaway archetype, right? Unfortunately, that happens with these, where Bandai will sometimes just make an archetype, and it's not going to be the highest competitive level. It just might just be for fun, right? At the end of the day, this is a card game. So, but I think we added some stuff to it. We didn't really go crazy with tech options, just because there's a lot of it is really relying on the Universe 3 stuff, and there's not a lot of Universe 3 stuff. So if we get some more support in the future, maybe another Anilaza card, you might see some things pop up. But I think this is probably as much as you can do, at least for the deck. So yeah. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys have some cool ideas for this deck, please post them down below. Maybe I'll change up the build a little bit, but I'm excited to see what you guys can come up with. So as always, thank you for the support, and I will see you guys in the next video.